It all started on a night just like any other, or so I thought. I was walking home, taking my usual shortcut through the old part of town. The cobblestone streets were slick with recent rain, and the gas lamps cast long, dancing shadows that seemed to whisper secrets. That's when I saw him. He was leaning against a lamppost, a silhouette of impossible grace, his face hidden in the dim light. I should have kept walking, my gut was screaming at me to run, but something about him held me captive. He looked up, and his eyes, they were like chips of obsidian, ancient and knowing. He smiled, and I saw a flash of white, unnaturally sharp. He moved so fast I didn't even see it coming. One moment he was across the street, the next he was right in front of me, his voice a low, hypnotic hum. He spoke of eternity, of a world hidden from mortal eyes, a world of power and endless night. I was mesmerized, caught in his spell. Then, a sharp, searing pain in my neck, like 2 needles of ice plunging into my skin. It was over in a heartbeat. He pulled back, a single drop of my blood like a ruby on his lip. He whispered, "Welcome to the family," and then he was gone, vanishing into the shadows as if he were made of them. I stumbled home in a daze, my hand pressed to my neck. There were 2 tiny puncture marks, already starting to heal. I told myself it was a dream, a hallucination brought on by exhaustion. I went to bed, trying to shake off the strange encounter. But when I woke up the next morning, everything had changed. The first sign was the sun. I pulled back my curtains, a habit I've had my whole life, and the morning light felt like a physical blow. My skin sizzled, 1,000 tiny needles pricking me all over. It was a searing, agonizing burn I'd never felt before. I screamed and scrambled away from the window, my heart pounding in my chest. I looked in the mirror, and my reflection was different. My eyes seemed darker, my skin paler, almost translucent. The 2 marks on my neck were gone, completely vanished, but the memory of the pain was still there. And so was this new, horrifying pain from the sun. I spent the day huddled in the darkest corner of my apartment, curtains drawn tight, a prisoner in my own home. The hunger started soon after. Not the normal kind of hunger for food. This was a deep, gnawing ache in the pit of my stomach, a thirst that water couldn't quench. The smell of my neighbor cooking bacon next door, something that usually made my mouth water, now turned my stomach. As dusk fell, the burning sensation on my skin subsided, and the gnawing hunger intensified. I felt a strange surge of energy, a new strength flowing through my veins. My senses were on fire. I could hear conversations from 3 floors down, smell the perfume of a woman walking on the street outside. It was overwhelming, a sensory overload that made my head spin. I knew, with a terrifying certainty, what was happening to me. The man from the night before, his words echoed in my mind. "Welcome to the family." This wasn't a dream. It was my new reality. I was becoming one of them. A vampire. The next few nights were a blur of confusion and fear. I learned to live by the moon. My days were spent in darkness, sleeping a restless, dream-filled sleep. My nights were for waking, for prowling the confines of my apartment like a caged animal. The thirst was becoming unbearable. I tried to eat normal food, but my body rejected it violently. The sight of blood, even a paper cut on my own finger, sent a jolt of primal need through me. I was terrified of what I was becoming, terrified of the monster looking back at me from the mirror. I had to find him. The one who did this to me. He had to have answers. He had to tell me how to control this, how to survive. So I started searching. Every night, I'd slip out into the city, using my newfound speed and silence to move unseen. I returned to the spot where he bit me, hoping he'd be there, but the street was always empty. I visited places that felt old, places steeped in history and shadow, Gothic churches, forgotten cemeteries, abandoned manors on the edge of town. I was looking for any sign, any clue that would lead me back to my creator. During my search, I started to notice things I'd never seen before. A hidden world, operating in the periphery of the human one. Figures moving with unnatural speed in alleyways, whispers in languages I didn't understand but somehow felt familiar. I wasn't the only one. One night, while searching an old, dusty library, I found a book. It was hidden away in a restricted section, bound in dark leather with no title. It felt ancient. Inside, the pages were filled with handwritten script, detailing the history and laws of the vampire world. It spoke of bloodlines, of creators, and their fledglings. It described the burning sun, the insatiable thirst, the enhanced senses. It was a survival guide. It taught me how to manage the hunger, how to hunt without killing, how to blend in. The book mentioned a place, a sanctuary hidden beneath the city, known only as the Haven. It was a place where newborns like me could find guidance. Following the cryptic directions in the book, I found the entrance to the Haven. It was hidden behind a false wall in the cellar of a dilapidated theater. I was hesitant, my hand trembling as I pushed the hidden door open. Inside, it wasn't the Gothic nightmare I expected. It was a community. Vampires of all ages, some looking as ancient as the city itself, others looking as lost and confused as I felt. A woman with eyes the color of amber approached me. Her name was Elena, and she was one of the elders. She saw the fear in my eyes and smiled a gentle, knowing smile. She told me I was safe, that they would teach me everything I needed to know. Life in the Haven was a revelation. I learned that the burning sun was a curse, but also a test. I learned to control my thirst, to feed from animal blood sources, and, for those who chose, from willing human donors who were part of their secret society. I learned to harness my new abilities, to move like a whisper, to influence the thoughts of others subtly. Most importantly, I learned that I wasn't a monster. I was just different. My creator, I learned, was a rogue, a loner who broke their sacred laws by turning someone without the council's permission. They were still looking for him. I trained for months, growing stronger, more confident. The fear that had consumed me was replaced by a sense of belonging I had never known. But I couldn't forget the one who turned me, the one who plunged me into this world without my consent. Elena warned me against seeking revenge, telling me it was a dark path. But it wasn't just about revenge. It was about understanding. Why me? I had to know. One day, I found a clue to his whereabouts in an old city archive. He was using the name Silas, and he had a pattern of moving from city to city, leaving a trail of chaos behind. Armed with my new knowledge and strength, I decided to leave the Haven. Elena and the others tried to dissuade me, but they understood my need for answers. They gave me their blessing, and a promise that I would always have a home to return to. My journey began. I was no longer a victim hiding from the sun. I was a hunter, and the night was my domain. The world is much bigger and stranger than I ever imagined, filled with secrets and dangers. I don't know where this path will lead me, or if I'll ever find Silas. But for the first time since that fateful night, I'm not afraid. My skin may still burn in the sun, but I've found a new kind of light in the darkness. My story is just beginning. Thanks for watching, and if you want to follow my journey, make sure to subscribe.